A column of tanks rumbles down a French road. Their engines thunder, their guns glint in the moonlight. A cloud of dust trails behind them as they churn the earth and move toward the front. German scouts in the hills mark the position and fall back. The Americans are coming, and they're coming fast. Only, there's no weight to the tanks, no heat from the engines, no soldiers riding atop them, because they're not tanks at all. They're rubber, inflatable, silent, and deadly in a different way. This is not a combat unit, it's an illusion, and for the enemy, it's already too late. This is the Ghost Army. In the spring of 1944, as Allied forces prepared to break Nazi Germany's grip on Europe, deception became just as vital as firepower. The Germans were watching, always, planning, guessing, hoping to predict where the next strike would land. The Allies needed to mislead them, so they assembled a secret unit unlike anything before. Officially, it was the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Unofficially, it was a band of artists, actors, engineers, and sound designers, tasked with pulling off the greatest con of the war. Their weapons weren't rifles or grenades. They used paint, air compressors, vinyl, stagecraft, and nerves of steel. Their job was simple in theory: make the Germans believe that massive American divisions were gathering in places they weren't. Entire divisions, dozens of tanks, hundreds of trucks, even full radio networks, all of it fake, and all of it deployed within miles of the real front line. The Ghost Army would move in under darkness, inflate tanks and artillery by hand, lay down fake tire tracks, plant false campfires, and string wire to nowhere. Then they'd broadcast scripted radio chatter, carefully mimicking the cadence of real battalions. Sometimes they'd even roll in with loudspeakers mounted to jeeps, playing hours of pre-recorded audio, clanking tracks, shouted commands, engine revs. The sound of a division moving, assembling, getting ready to fight. The Germans bought it. Again and again, in Normandy, in the Ardennes, in the Rhine, a single inflatable Sherman tank might take 4 men 15 minutes to assemble. From a distance, or from the air, it looked real enough to target, and many times, it was. Enemy aircraft bombed empty fields. German troops were redirected toward phantoms, while real American forces advanced miles away. The Ghost Army didn't fight with bullets, but they were in danger constantly. If they were discovered, they had no way to defend themselves. No machine guns, no armored support, just a field kit full of deception and a uniform that could get them shot on sight. Their mission was top secret. Even fellow U.S. soldiers weren't allowed to know who they were or what they were doing. Some believed they were just another engineering unit. Others thought they were crazy, but their results were undeniable. By the end of the war, it's estimated that the Ghost Army saved tens of thousands of Allied lives. Through misdirection alone, they prevented full-scale battles, diluted German forces, and allowed more precise operations to unfold elsewhere. They operated in total silence. No medals, no press, no mention in the victory speeches, not until decades later, when the truth finally surfaced, and even then it sounded like fiction. But the records are clear: the names, the photos, the hand-drawn designs for fake tanks and cannon placements, the audio recordings still archived in dusty vaults. What they did was real. And what they proved is this: victory in war doesn't always come from the loudest explosion or the bloodiest charge. Sometimes it comes from shadows, from illusions, from a handful of quiet men standing in a field full of empty rubber tanks, risking their lives to make the enemy afraid of ghosts. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more stories of sacrifice, deception, and the truths war doesn't always tell.